The dinner service is done. We're at the end of our day. We're broken down, the steam table, everything has been removed. We're gonna take the cutting board off. We're gonna send the cutting board to the dish room. And now this unit can be wrapped up for the day. First thing I'm gonna do is show you how to drain it. So notice I'm over a floor drain right here, all right? Now if you don't have big enough floor drains, you can always use a hotel pan. A little bit of a pain, to be honest with you. Floor drain is much better to use. If you have the ability to go outside, you can do that too before you get into a pan situation, but floor drain is the best bet. Notice I have the hoses positioned over the floor drains, and I'm gonna go ahead and open up the valves. Go straight up. This way, now everything is coming out. We'll do the other one also. What we want to do is we want to make sure all the water comes out of the wells. And then, as I had indicated in an earlier lesson, we want to keep these valves open overnight so this whole valve system and drain system can air dry. We don't want to get any pockets of water there where any potential bacteria can grow. So we'll leave those open all night. It's key to remember that in the morning before breakfast starts, we close these valves, put water in these wells before we start it up again when we hit these switches. A key thing to understand and know is to never run a well dry. Now the reason for that is this well will superheat and this metal can actually bend and you can actually burn out the element that's underneath here that's warming things up. So we want to make sure we don't do that. The other best practice is once this is drained out, we get like a nice terry cloth towel and we're going to wipe this out and dry it off. One of the things we're trying to avoid is any scaling with the stainless steel or this whole well. Now if you do end up getting some scaling in here, if your water is particularly hard, you might need to descale it or delime it from time to time with a little rag and wipe it off. Hopefully you don't have that problem, but that's something to be aware of. We don't want this metal to get all scaled up because it will ruin the metal over time, and then we could even end up with a situation where a hole could end up penetrating through that metal and then the well has to be replaced. So let's take really good care of our equipment and it'll last a long time. So right now I'm gonna grab a nice terry cloth and we're gonna wipe this thing down. All right, I have a freshly laundered terry cloth towel. I am now gonna go into the well and dry it all off, get everything out of there, all the water. Kind of using the towel a little bit like a squeegee to get everything down into that drain. And then I'm wiping it dry. So now my well is dry, my drains are open. We're gonna let this unit air dry overnight before we get it into use for tomorrow. A couple other processes to consider at the end of the day. Make sure everything is turned off, okay? We don't want to turn things off the next day, and you may or may not need the wells, you may not need the heated shelf, and you may not need the heated drawer. So let's make sure everything is off, so when we bring it back online tomorrow, we can then set it for what you need for that service. The other thing I want to point out, at the end of the day, make sure you check all your drawers. We want to make sure all the food is out of here, anything that's exposed that could get contaminated, anything could spoil or go bad, we want to get it out of there. We also want to make sure we rotate these pans out on a daily basis and keep the things clean in there as part of good practice and good housekeeping to maintain everything on this cart. Good luck with the UC or SuzyQ cart.